You are the left, and you were a prisoner to the extreme left.
Do you think the Republicans are sort of an extreme fringe party?
No, I don't think that they're an extreme fringe party.
That means they don't have the information.
Okay, but 90% of the voters don't have the information.
Maybe you need to listen to the news when you're in traffic.
Hey there, welcome back. It's Black Coffee again. Today we are diving deep into another dumpster fire, that is The View, where logic goes to die and common sense is a rare commodity. So buckle up and buttercups, because it's gonna be a wild ride.
So you think the Republicans are sort of an extreme fringe party?
No, I don't think that they're an extreme fringe party. I think that they're operating against those they believe are extreme on the left. Like, for example, when you talk about the LGBTQ community, I'm a fiscal conservative and I'm a social liberal. I'm fiscal with my dollars. I ain't apologizing for not wanting to pay high taxes to anybody. I'm not apologizing for that, right? But outside of that, I'm pretty liberal. Live and let live, okay? But you had folks on the left that were introducing some things when we got in the whole transgender issue, and they were talking about bathrooms, or they were talking about males transitioning to females and competing against girls in sports and stuff like that. These
That's less than 1% of the population.
I understand that,
but you know what? That's ridiculous.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. So Sunny Hostin over here just living in her ivory tower. She thinks everyone who disagree with her is basically a drooling Neanderthal who needs to be spoon-fed. I mean, facts from CNN. Jeez. I think the real people out here, working their butts off, don't really have time for their woke fairy tales, unbelievable. They are just too busy dealing with the sky-high gas prices. I mean, the everyday folks. And that is thanks to the Democrats. They've been in power for the past 4 years. Let's call it for what it is. Can you just believe this elite snobbery? She literally thinks that people who work hard and don't obsess over the news are just uninformed. Really, it's like she can't even fathom the idea that people might have different priorities, like feeding their families and just keeping a roof over their heads.
But I think that's where the mistake is made.
Yeah.
Of course,
you're saying it's ridiculous. I don't disagree with you.
Yeah.
But most of the voters out there don't think like that.
But that means they don't have the information.
Okay, but
come on.
90% of the voters don't have the information. If you're out there busting your tail to make ends meet and to pay your bills, and you're going to work every day, and you got a family to take care of, and you're in New York City, you're getting stuck 2 hours of your day, you're stuck in traffic. You understand? You got a whole bunch of stuff to go through. You don't have time to know what you and I know.
Maybe you need to listen to the news when you're in traffic.
Well, again, I agree with
not
that.
be uninformed.
What's wrong with this girl, Sony?
That's going to take you away from the things that brings down your spirit. And that's unfortunately what most voters are doing.
Let me ask.
She's living out of reality. She cannot even understand what an everyday folks go through. She just thinks that, I don't know, everyone is earning the same money as the Sony is. They are paying her a lot of money to just say these dumb things, in my opinion. And you won't believe the next thing she said about Latinos and immigration or illegal immigration. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Just listen to it.
Yeah. Well, I want to go back to what you said about Black men being very comfortable with matriarchy. And I agree with that because, Black households are often led by a grandmother, Black grandmother or Black mother. However, 55% of Latino men voted for Trump. Why do you think that happened?
Well, I think that economically, they were looking at things. First of all, in this country, you've got Cubans, Mexicans, Puerto Ricans, Guatemalans, Venezuelans, Colombians, et cetera, et cetera. And if you talk to the Hispanic community, depending on who you're talking to, they think differently. The Cubans think differently than the Dominicans. The Dominicans think different than Colombians. To some, the economy was a priority. To some, believe it or not, it was the border. You had some folks within the Hispanic populace that were encouraging the borders to be closed.
I'm Puerto Rican, right? So the Hispanic community is not a monolith. I agree
Absolutely.
with you. And a lot of, I think, people that are of Hispanic origin from, let's say, South America or Central America, they're willing to close the door behind them instead of letting somebody else in.
Unbelievable. Is she implying that they got it illegally, and once they got in, they decided to shut the door for the next illegals to come in? Wow. Wow. You know, everything to her is just about race, gender, and who is the biggest victim. Thinking that all Hispanics think alike, or all black people are victims of the system, which I think is ironic considering they keep voting for the party that created the system, the Democratic Party. They vote at least 95% Democrat every time. And them also thinking that all men are toxic masculinity monsters, I'll say, waiting to pounce at every chance. At this point, I think it's just it's exhausting, and many Americans feel the same way too. I don't think people are buying this anymore, and they just want to move on, and keep spewing this bullshit would not cut it, in my personal opinion. So, well, I'm all for equality and fairness, right? But no, this woke nonsense has really gone too far, and it's dividing America. Once America is divided, the rest of us suffer in the world. I'm not in America, I'm not from America, but I see the consequence when America is really divided and when their justice system is being politicized, you know? If they can do that to go after their presidents, then no one in the world is safe. They can do anything they want, you know? So I just think things have gone too far to divide America. And so, and what has contributed to this is the silencing of dissenting voices by this previous administration. And that really made everyone to walk on this eggshell for fear of being labeled a bigot or Justice Department coming after you or being silenced on social media. I don't know if what I'm saying now will be silenced or will be taken down, but it doesn't make any sense. You're supposed to defend these things, free speech and stuff like that. That's what you come to Africa to preach. But looking for from Africa, I don't think there's free speech in America. So don't kid yourself. I think that's possibly due to one party only. I'll not say it, but you know what I'm talking about. Everything should be just common sense, and you cannot fool people every time. You know, just judge people based on their individual merit. That's what I'll say. Not their skin color or gender. I mean, it's actually a good thing. So let's just stop all this nonsense. Anyway, let's keep on listening to what my favorite ladies in the world, their view. Without them, I'll not have content. What are you talking about? Let's listen.
You are the left. You leaned and you were a prisoner to the extreme left in a lot of people's eyes. Well, guess what? Most of America doesn't operate on the fringes. Whether you're left or you're right, you're relatively centrist. You believe in compromise, negotiation, working with one another. Nobody gets to get everything they want. The problem is those on the fringes continuously push for you to get everything you want.
Yeah.
They're not about getting things done. They're about getting their way. And if they're not going to get their way, they're about complaining and griping about it because they understand that when you are operating based off of grievance, that's usually what provokes you to get to the polls. And that is why they don't mind feeling aggrieved and displaying and disseminating that kind of message, because they know people are going to gravitate to that. And as a result, that might get them to the polls, you thinking you're going to get what you want as a result of it. The thing to recognize is this, and I've said this often. When we look at the economy, I remember when Biden came into the office, he inherited about 1.5% inflation. It ballooned to about 9.1% before it ultimately came down to where it is now, right? That doesn't mean anything to minorities. The percentage and inflation, and here's the percentage. Nah. How much does gas cost? How much does the groceries cost, okay? How much does rent cost? How much does my mortgage cost? That's what folks pay attention to, what's actually in their wallet. I don't know too many minorities that want to trust the system. And so when people speak, although you're right and righteous with your emotion and your righteous indignation, other people are saying we have the right to have righteous indignation when it comes to our pocket, or when it comes to our lifestyle, or when it comes to our environment. If we see crimes in the streets and stuff like that, we see homelessness and it's ballooned, we got a problem with that, and we don't believe this person is the answer compared to that. So what? They might have insulted a bunch of people. We don't like it, we hate it, but in the end, it's not more important than my pocketbook or my lifestyle. But
you know what? This is laughable a little bit. I mean, yeah, Stephen A. Smith has been saying all the right things, but fun facts. With him knowing all these things, he still voted Democrat. Why? Why, Stephen A? What? You're well educated and you know the facts, and you voted Democrats. It's unbelievable. It's shameful. I mean, what are we going to do or what are the Black Americans going to do to break out of that chain? Someone is listing all the facts and he knows exactly what's going on, yet he still voted Democrat. That Democratic president who said he will get them and guys to be voting for the next 200 years. I don't know. I mean, he must have been Nostradamus to forecast this. Because it seems there is nothing anyone can do to take them off that train. There is nothing. You cannot know all these facts, then you still vote Democrat. It's unbelievable. I'm really, really disappointed with Stephen A. I am really, really disappointed. Unbelievable. Us in Wakanda, we know these things. If we were voting, I think we would have left that train a long time ago. Jeez. Well, I don't have too much time today. A little bit tired. So, what do we do about this? Anyway, just smash that like button if you're tired of the woke mob. I think their reign is over. Nobody's scared of them anymore. And just subscribe to join the army of common sense from Wakanda. And most importantly, just share this video with everyone, so we need to spread the message that it's okay to think for yourself, to question the narrative and also to reject this culture of fear and division. It's unbelievable. One side have been preaching that democracy is at stake, but under their regime, we've been living in fear. I cannot even say what I want to say on this platform because I'm living in fear. I don't know, they'll take down my YouTube channel and stuff like that. What an irony. Unbelievable. Wow. Anyway, this is Black Coffee in the House from Wakanda. I'm signing out today. Stay woke, my friends. Stay woke. Okay? It gives us more common sense. Anyway, that's it. I'm out. Cheers.